We've got a brand new section called Ask Anything where you guys can email us podcast@printavo.com and get help with any topic. Today, we have got a question from a shop in Birmingham, Alabama, Authentic City Print, LLC. His name's Antoine, and he really wants to grow his business, but he's stuck with growing clientele and pricing correctly. I know this is a can of worms. Let's just start real quick. 2 minutes on helping a small shop with pricing.
Oof. I mean, I'll be the first one to bite on that one. So a small shop to do pricing is a hard one. It also depends how long you've been in business, right? In a perfect world, you can take a previous year's capture and take a look at what your throughput was, so how many garments you decorated against your entire overhead, and you can start to figure out how much it actually costs you to decorate it good, and then you can figure out what kind of margin on top of that you want to have for what kind of growth strategy you're looking for, right? Last year's data, kind of garbage, right? 2020 was a crapshoot, unfortunately, for almost every shop out there. So you can't really use a capture from 2020 to 2019. But if you're a newer shop that started in 2019, you don't even have a full year. So the one thing that I really hate for people to do, but it kind of ends up being what most people do, right, is kind of go find the median of all the shops around you and kind of start at that spot. Now, that's dangerous because you don't know their overhead, you don't know any of that data, but if you got nowhere else to start, you can kind of start there. Just make sure that you are checking it monthly, quarterly, and that you're not putting out like a full year price list. If you're going to put a price list out, first of all, if you're going to put it out to the public, make sure it's notated like spring 2021. That way, if you have to change it, you've got till summer to change it, and people aren't going to be like, oh, I got a 2021 price list right here. I would say if you're starting off, maybe try to even avoid putting out a public price list and kind of just work with it and analyze weekly, monthly, what your overhead versus what your revenue looks like. We also have an awesome spreadsheet that we put together here. Luke put it together that can kind of help you figure out all your overhead costs against what it actually should be for your charges, for different amounts of colors, different shirts, all that. So I would say start there and then just slowly kind of work up toward it. And remember, it's going to be a moving target. You're going to have to go, oop, crap, we didn't make enough money. We got to raise our prices and start going up. If you look at big business, right? I spent 6 years selling screen printing equipment. The manufacturer who I sold, they would usually do 2 price increases a year, anywhere from 3 to 5%. So anywhere from 6 to 10% increased yearly. Right? And that didn't stop. It kept going. So inflation happens. The world continues to charge more. You can as well. If you haven't upped your prices in a while, it's time to do it, especially on the backside of COVID. We've all got to kind of make up for a dead year. So it's not necessarily the perfect answer, but it's a working progress that you have to start putting eyes on and just start analyzing and growing as you go.
Steven, thoughts?
This is like a Mayweather Pacquiao, like, all right, from my corner. Well, if you want to grow your business, you can either make more money on what you're currently selling or you can sell more product. That's the fundamentals of business. You can sell more or you can make more money on what you're already selling. Contract shops have decided to print more and make less. If you're a new shop, do not do that, period. Do not do that. I repeat, do not start contract printing because you will start spinning your wheels and it can spiral out of control. Ask any of the massive shops. They'll tell you the same exact thing. So that being said, you need to charge accordingly for what you've got. And I go back to it and say, I don't know how much the price of lumber is right now. I know it's really expensive. I know it's $6, $7, $8 for a 2x4. But when I walk into Home Depot, I'm confident. I know it's going to be expensive, but this is what I'm going to pay, and I'm going to walk out with it and do whatever I want. So with that being said, I don't really publish my prices because I think every experience is a relationship, and it's a unique opportunity to create a bond where you actually eliminate price mattering whatsoever. No differently than a haircut. As a custom experience in a small local business, I will give my barber whatever he charges because I like him and I'm going to him because he is my guy. So I think if you're small, you actually need to spend a lot of your time on the relationships and the bonds, because people will actually support you. And in this time post-COVID, supporting local business is a no-brainer. And it's very, very easy to sell and say, hey, I know I'm a buck higher than, this website, but you're supporting me, you're supporting our local economy. That being said, pricing is really hard. Something that we have at Campus Inc. is what's called our daily burn. We know how much money our business costs to run without printing a single shirt. So a book that you probably should read pretty quickly is Profit First, where you learn about what's called real revenue, and you actually take your cost of goods sold out of your revenue, so you know what your business is actually bringing to you as a service, not a reseller of goods. Right? And so, I'm buying a $2 shirt, I'm selling it for $10, I'm bringing $8 into the game. And how does that affect what it costs to keep my lights on every day, what it costs to keep my business open? Some businesses have a really big daily burn. Mine is anywhere between $6,000 and $10,000 per day. And that's if we don't print a single shirt. Right? And so some days I realize, oh man, we printed a bunch of stuff, but we did not even break out of our daily burn. So we're going to need to either print faster or print more, or we're going to have to adjust our prices. And it's mostly adjusting prices is what I've learned. We're not charging enough.
Feel free to join the Ask Anything segment by emailing us podcast@printavo.com.